Hi everybody, Anna K. Morris here with your day 15 coaching video. And this one is for all of the people pleasers that are watching this. It's a tough one, right? I think it's a tough one from like the perspective of being compassionate and considerate and kind, and also like abandoning yourself and what you need and that kind of people pleasing. So I'm jumping right in because for a long time, it wasn't even that I was people pleasing. It was that like I wasn't asking myself the question of like what makes me happy. And so rather than like asking the hard question, and I also like that wasn't really a question in my social circle, in my family. Like it just wasn't really, I just don't remember it being present. I was really always paying attention to like, what was I supposed to do? What should I do? Supposed to and should were like really big themes of my life up until about 30. And as a result, I created a life, all of my 20s, probably my teens too, but it was really my 20s when I was in New York, of like a life that I thought I should have, or I was supposed to have. I did a career that people thought I would be good at, right? It just wasn't fulfilling. So the whole concept of like people pleasing is nuanced, right? Because like, yes, we want to be kind and considerate and generous people, but there's something else that happens in this whole like people pleasing kind of mentality where like you get lost in it, and sometimes you start to have maybe you have a life, and I know I certainly did, that like I did not actually feel like was mine. I remember driving to work specifically several times, and thinking like, I know this is my life, but like this doesn't feel like my life, because I wasn't willing to do the work of like, what do I want? What am I willing to do to get it, right? So I just did what I thought would make everybody else happy. I just did that for a really long time. And even now, I catch myself always like, hey, is this working for me? And it doesn't mean that you have to be a bitch about it or selfish or self-consumed or anything like that, because at the end of the day, you actually cannot make other people happy. You just can't. It's just not even possible. I'm lucky if I can make myself happy. Like that's a huge win, right? So if you're out there and you identify as this like people pleaser, just consider that like it's going to wear you down. It's going to wear you out. That shit will kill you. Slowly. It erodes at you until you look in the mirror and you're like, I don't actually know who I am. Like, how did all this happen? I just started watching that show Beef on Netflix. Whitney, thank you for the recommendation. It's so good. And that's very much the female character, Ali Wong, who I love. But she's created this whole life, and you can see her kind of looking at her life, and it's perfect. Like she's got a really good life. But man, I've only watched an episode and a half. There's something off there, right? I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to guess it's been a lot of people pleasing just from the setup of the show. And I mean, I catch myself even sometimes like not actually saying what I need to say because I don't want to rock the boat too much, right? And so there's that fine line between like being true to yourself and being selfish. So I'm always conscious of like, okay, like how can I, even in these videos, right? Like it was brought to my attention yesterday that like something that I said about my family like really hurt my mother's feelings. And that was really hard to hear. And it was not my intention. And I know that she knows it wasn't my intention. And I still hurt her feelings. So there's like a responsibility to have for the things that you say, right? And also like being like willing to listen to when people like have something that do you need to come in, Derek?
Nope.
Okay. Sorry, I can hear him at the door right now. Hi, would you like to come say hello? You didn't hear me tell you that I was shooting the video?
Yeah, that's why I stopped at the door.
Okay.
You're the one that's talking about the steps.
Okay. Anyway, it's just a 3-ring circus around here all the time. But yeah, so it's just one of those things where in taking care of yourself and being honest, like sometimes that can hurt somebody's feelings. And I feel horribly that I hurt my mother's feelings, and it was not my intention. And at the same time, like I still stand by what I said, you know? So it's walking that line of like, yes, I understand that like what I said may have hurt your feelings, and there are other perspectives to look at things through. And just like getting over there in another person's world. But always with the people pleasing, recognizing that like I can't make somebody else happy, but I can be honest and responsible for the things that I say and that I do, right? And just I think the bottom line of all of it is making sure that I'm coming from a place of love. I'm coming from a place of honesty and vulnerability. And I also recognize that like I'm going to screw up sometimes, right? You're going to screw up sometimes. My mom's going to screw up. We're all going to do things or say things that don't land right for another person. I'm sure you've watched, you know, if you've watched any of my videos, some of it you may be like, this is garbage. What the fuck is she talking about? Like, I don't relate to that at all. But you know what? Somebody else does. So do you throw the baby out with the bathwater? I mean, you know, there's truth to all of it. And I think there's just this fine line of like really understanding yourself, and always before speaking, especially like speaking up about something hard or really vulnerable or about your family, taking a minute, taking a deep breath, and like making sure that's really true for you, and owning it and understanding that like there's a responsibility as well. So I hope that makes sense. I know I didn't like, you know, share like specifics, because I am like navigating how do I share honestly and vulnerably and also like not hurt somebody's feelings, you know? So I hope that resonates, and I hope that if you are a people pleaser, you continue to be kind and generous, but you also apply that to yourself, that you are kind and generous with yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, we are all just doing the best we can. I love this thing, and I don't know where my mom got it from, but she always says like, I don't know the exact, I won't get the words exactly right, and I'm sure she'll tell me later, and so I'll give it to you right later. But it's like, you have no idea, like talking about somebody's front door, you have no idea like the quiet like struggles or desperation or something that might be behind that door, right? Like we don't actually know what other people are dealing with. And so if we can come into people's lives and into our own lives with like just like a quiet generosity, right, of listening, of being, you know, available. And that really goes for you as well. I've shot the video that I said about like putting on your oxygen mask first, you know. It's hard to do, but if you are not true to yourself, it will erode everything. You won't see it right away, but it will. It'll come out in like snarky remarks, slamming doors, slamming dishes like I did the other night, right? So just make sure that you take as good care, at the best care that you can of others and of yourself. And that you are doing things like from a loving and generous place versus wanting somebody else's approval, wanting somebody else's acceptance. That's the people pleasing that doesn't work, because you're never ever really going to be fulfilled by that. It's not going to ever be enough. At the end of the day, you are with you all day long. So really who you want to be pleasing is yourself. I know this sounds really selfish, but if you go so far away from yourself and are so busy making others happy, I promise you, you will look at your life and not recognize it. You won't even know what happened. So, okay, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.